or 78 to 86, and that was New York and Boston. I was involved with N.A.M.B.L.A.
He was in N.A.M.B.L.A?
Yeah, he was the founder of N.A.M.B.L.A.
Oh yeah, David Thorstad.
Yeah, David. Was it David? I know his middle name, but hold on. That's not right now. I don't remember it.
How did Thorstad tie into these other people?
He got tied in with Carlson because he was associated with some people that Carlson knew and stuff. Some of Carlson's group was getting involved with N.A.M.B.L.A because of what they did and what Carlson and them were doing. They agreed with this, so they had contacts with them and stuff. And David Thorstad came in and talked to him and stuff, and took a liking.
He came in and talked to them on a lecture, or just talked to them?
He talked to them socially.
Uh-huh.
No, a lecture. He talked to them socially and stuff. And he came in and stuff, and I was at the party that he was at and stuff, and a couple other. He had some kid that he brought with him, and he took a liking to me and this other kid that was there at the parties and stuff that Carlson had and stuff, and he told him that, he talked to us and stuff, and he decided that he wanted us to come out to his place and stuff once in a while.
Where did he live?
Out in New York or Boston. I'm not sure if he lived in New York or Boston. I know every time I went there, we went to either place. He had two places that he stayed at.
What does he do for a living?
He was a freelance photographer or journalist or something like that. I know he took a lot of pictures. And I met him before N.A.M.B.L.A ever formed. He was part of the Boise Committee, which was the Boston Boise Committee. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It was the group that N.A.M.B.L.A came out of. I mean, I was involved with that before that and stuff. They got me in touch with a bunch of people all over the country. I mean, that's how I got involved with all these different guys. They provide the names to the kids. They would never provide kids' names to the adults until they got really into it so much, in fact, that, it's like David Thorstad and stuff. They weren't dummies. I mean, it's like the only way they'd start providing names of kids to other men and stuff is if they knew that this guy was having sexual relations with children and stuff on a regular basis and was very active in it. Otherwise, they wouldn't, because they were afraid that it might be undercover.
Yeah.
And they don't want anybody to know that they actually do that kind of service for people.
Do you want to explain what N.A.M.B.L.A is?
North American Man-Boy Love Association.
And you know anything about the organization?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
The organization is, they try and make look like they're doing things for kids' rights and stuff, children's rights and stuff, to make it. But what they're actually trying to do is destroy laws that prohibit men and children from having sexual relations with each other. That's their main and only purpose, really. They try and say, well, they're against all these things, and they got these things that state all their cause and stuff. They have a magazine out that's called The Bulletin. They send it out every month, I guess. I don't receive it, so I think it's still being put out by them. And they kind of promote things that try and make it easier, or not easier, but try and pervert the rest of the world by saying, well, there's nothing wrong with sex between men and boys, or men and children, or women and children and stuff. And it's just
women in there too.
Yeah, they got some women involved with it.
Okay. Were you a member or anything?
I don't know if you could call me a member. I was a kid when I was growing up through it, but I was involved with them to the point where I'd march with them and stuff like that when I was like 13, 14 years old, not realizing myself what this was actually doing.
Where did you march with them?
We went to, it was an anti-nuclear demonstration in Washington, D.C.
Who's paying your expenses?
I don't know.
Would they just hand you a ticket and say, here it is? Or?
Well, no, they wouldn't hand me a ticket. They'd come and they'd pick me up. They'd have somebody pick me up every time. They wouldn't never send me alone. No, they didn't do it alone. I mean, I had to have somebody with me when
Because you were a young boy. Huh?
Well, not because I was young. I mean, yeah, that's the thing about it. I had to have somebody with me, and yet I should have all rights to do whatever I want anytime I want to, but they just wanted me for the sex. They didn't want to let me run around on my own. I had to be protected still.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize it protected from them. I had a whole list of everything I did with them. In fact, I had one marked N.A.M.B.L.A.
We can cover that later. I'll make a note.
But an anti-nuclear demonstration I was at, they started in December of 1978. switched.
Who's they? Why don't you
N.A.M.B.L.A.
continue with that? Oh, once you, you're going to talk about N.A.M.B.L.A? Okay, we were talking
Oh,
about
I was
N.A.M.B.L.A.
talking about David Thorstad and how
Right, okay.
I was how I met him.
And you're looking at your calendar there.
And I have, it's kind of marked. It's kind of weird how I mark things. I don't put anything except for.
Will that take it there? Yeah.
I'll have to get a close up on it later. It's like, I don't know how I even remember they like it marketing thing. I just got N.A.M.B.L.A written there. That's when they formed N.A.M.B.L.A, when they actually formed it.
What's the date on that again?
December 2nd, 1978.
Were you there?
Yeah.
When they
In the
formed
Boston
N.A.M.B.L.A?
Church.
Huh?
It was in the Boston Church, yeah.
Remember the name of the church?
I got the name of it somewhere, but I have to think of it right now. Boston Community Church or something like that.
Who was there when they formed it?
David Thorstad, a couple of the guys that they became the steering members later on, so I'm not exactly sure who was all there. I know David Thorstad was the main one there. I believe Andretti was there. Andrea, I think it's Andrea. He was a kind of a kid at the time, so Bill Andrea. And several other guys that were there also. I'm not sure exactly.
How many people were there?
Probably 1 to 2 dozen.
Where were they from?
Mainly from Boston. They used to be called the Boston Boise Committee, and then they changed them to becoming
Boston what committee?
Boise.
Boise, okay.
B-O-I-S-E.
Okay.